What is up, guys? Skeletal back again with a movie review, I guess. I don't know, episode review. I don't know what you want to call it, as technically it's not a movie, but it was released in theaters. I don't know what you want to call it. However, these are my thoughts on the episode, as not only did I see it in theaters, but I like this show, and I think a lot of the hatred that it's getting, especially this final episode, is really undeserved. So yeah, before we begin on the movie, or on the review I should say, full spoilers ahead. I'm going to spoil this episode rotten, and I'm going to be talking about things that happen in the episode. So if you haven't seen it, go buy yourself a ticket and watch it. Or wait until it releases on YouTube for free. Alright, so with that being said, let's spoil this run. I think this episode is quite possibly, this is arguably the best episode. I'm not even joking. Or this is my second favorite. There's one episode I still like, but overall, this is, I think, one of the best episodes in the series, hands down, the finale, because not only does it confirm a lot of stuff that, was speculating, but once you rewatch the show from beginning to end with this, because I've seen it twice now, the show does a good job of wrapping everyone's character arc and improving the characters, and it gives everyone their moment to shine. No one really feels left out. And even the new characters like Ribbit and Kaufmo, they get their own moments as well. Again, I gotta applaud the writers and Gooseworks themselves for creating such a wonderful episode, honestly. And the ending, oh my god, it is both sweet and tragic at the same time, which is very difficult to pull off, honestly. Also, the cinematography in the episode is beautiful. There's a lot of good shots in this episode. And apart from that, the voice acting is again phenomenal, probably the best in the series. You really do feel a lot of the emotions that the voice actors are conveying in this episode, especially Jax, which I think it's time to get to the spoiler section. Again, this is your warning. Go watch it if you haven't, but let's jump right in. Basically, Jax ends up abstracting, and we learn what happens through abstraction, all right? We learn what goes on in someone's mind, and it's actually a nice little callback to some of the moments of how we get to that point. Mainly in particular, Pomni ends up doing the same thing that Kinger did, where Kinger was in a dark space when he reached to his wife. Pomni ends up doing the same. She breaks all the lights and reaches out to Jax, and we see what's going on. Basically, when you abstract, you're in your own thoughts. You're really living your own memories. That kind of thing. It's sort of an internal hell, depending. Now, we see Jax's real memories locked up. So it could be that Jax has created a type of defense system where he's just going through what-if scenarios, fantasies that his own mind creates because he's too afraid to confront what basically made him abstract in the first place. And it's his facade. His facade was the thing that's keeping him together, yet in the end it's the thing that breaks him, because what ended up letting him abstract was him being alone and pushing people away. And that was the thing that caused other people to abstract, like Kaufmo and Ribbit. And when you go back and watch the other episodes, it's greatly foreshadowed what happens to him. And you think towards the end of the story that, he'll reach his humanity, because he does, in a sense, open up to Pomni. Pomni sees everything and still accepts him for what he is. And even Jax is grateful to her, and they both end up hugging. Of course, Pomni ends up breaking free, and Jax is still the beast. However, they don't throw him down in the cellar. Instead, they kind of keep him around as a pet, which is kind of tragic, and that's where it gets to the tragic part. Well, one of the aspects. The show never ends with Jax back to normal, and I thought it was going to end like that, but it doesn't. And actually, another tragedy is the characters themselves. They're all brain scans. They're not the actual persons trapped in the game, which is what a lot of people were speculating, and the finale kind of confirms that. However, even though they're not the real persons, we actually do get an indication of what happened to the people in the real world, and, well, they end up living their own lives. They end up having, accomplished their dreams or living in their dreams, and they end up living happily after in the circus, because Kane comes back and actually gives them the freedom that they want. And Kane, he himself, even though he's an AI, he grows as a human and becomes, well, more human-like as he accepts his flaws and lets the characters have freedom, which I think is an amazing ending, which is why I heavily disagree with a lot of the backlash and negativity with this episode. Now, granted, every series finale is always going to have its own group of haters, but You see, prior to it coming out in theaters, it was unfortunately leaked on the internet because I believe the Brazilian theater had some type of leak or something. The Brazilian side leaked it, and of course, everyone saw it, and everyone was harassing, everyone involved, the voice actors, Gooseworks, herself, and it was really disgusting. And I just don't see the hatred. Um, I I don't see the flaws or anything. I feel like the story or the episode itself did a good job of wrapping everything together. There was some great callbacks, some great continuity between the episodes, and it doesn't feel like it is disrespecting what came before. If anything, it's improving upon. And once you watch the show from beginning to end again, I saw this movie twice. But the second time though, I had refreshed my memory with all the other episodes, and yeah, the seeds are there. The story feels natural. It moves natural, and it feels, it moves at a good pace if you were to watch it back to back. So, again, I just don't see the issues, which is why I highly recommend watching this. I recommend watching the episode, go watch it in theaters, or if you don't want to pay, just wait until it comes out. Simple as that. And I really hope the voice actors, I really hope they find other great works, that show off their talent. I am excited to see them in future projects, and I hope Gooseworks gives a crack at it again at making another series. Just, can we not be so toxic about it, please? Anyways, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to check out my other videos. And if you want to support me, check out my Ko-fi if you want to see more videos like this. And with that being said, I am out.